Imagine everything you thought you knew about the dawn of civilization. About when and how humanity first built something truly monumental. Now, prepare to have those foundational beliefs utterly shattered. Because in southeastern Turkey, carved into a dusty hilltop, lies a site so impossibly old, so utterly complex, it forces us to rewrite history itself, pushing back the timeline of advanced human culture by millennia. This is Göbekli Tepe, and it's not just older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge. It predates pottery, metalworking, and even the widespread practice of settled agriculture. It's a true anomaly. Discovered by a Kurdish shepherd in the 1960s, its true significance wasn't realized until the German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavations in 1995, meticulously uncovering its hidden secrets. Radiocarbon dating, rigorously confirmed by multiple independent studies from institutions like the German Archaeological Institute, placed its construction around 9600 BC. That's over 11,600 years ago, a staggering timeline. For decades, the prevailing academic belief, often called the Neolithic Revolution theory, was that agriculture came first. People settled down, farmed, created surpluses, and only then built complex structures and societies. But Göbekli Tepe flips that narrative completely on its head. It was constructed by advanced hunter-gatherers, nomadic people who lived off the wild bounty of the land, long before permanent villages emerged. Imagine the organizational feat: tens, perhaps hundreds, of people collaborating without a clear hierarchical society, without the sustained food supply from farming to support such a massive, long-term endeavor. The site consists of multiple massive, circular enclosures, each a masterpiece of prehistoric engineering. Every enclosure features colossal T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing up to 60 tons, quarried miles away. These pillars aren't just structural, they're intricate canvases for incredible, detailed carvings of animals, serpents, scorpions, boars, foxes, lions, and birds of prey. Each figure tells a story we're only beginning to decipher. Some T-pillars even have clearly carved arms, hands, and loincloths, strongly suggesting they represent stylized human or anthropomorphic figures, perhaps revered deities, powerful ancestors, or mythical beings watching over the rituals. Crucially, there's almost no evidence of permanent habitation at Göbekli Tepe. No hearths, no domestic waste, no clear signs of a settled village. This wasn't a home, it was a destination. This suggests it was a profoundly sacred place, a monumental gathering point for dispersed groups of hunter-gatherers from hundreds of miles around. A pilgrimage site, perhaps, drawing people for grand, infrequent ceremonies. What brought them together to such a remote, austere location? What profound rituals unfolded beneath these towering stones? The carvings offer tantalizing clues, but no easy, definitive answers. The prevalence of dangerous animals, scorpions, snakes, wild boars, suggests a deep connection to the untamed wild, perhaps a reverence for nature's raw power, or an attempt to appease formidable, unseen spirits. One famous carving, often called the vulture stone, depicts a headless man, a vulture, and other enigmatic symbols. Some researchers, like Martin Sweatman of the University of Edinburgh, propose it's a sophisticated celestial map. They argue it records a catastrophic comet strike that occurred around 10,950 BC, triggering the Younger Dryas climate event, a mini-ice age. A cosmic warning encoded in stone, passed down through generations. Now, this interpretation is highly debated within the archaeological community. What we do not know about Göbekli Tepe vastly outweighs what we do. The specific meaning of its complex iconography remains deeply speculative. We don't know the precise function of the T-pillars. Were they anthropomorphic representations of deities, ancestors, or mythical beings? Or were they simply structural supports for a roof, holding up a vast, communal space? The exact nature of the rituals performed here is also a profound mystery. Were there animal sacrifices? Grand feasts? Communal storytelling sessions that bound these disparate groups together in shared belief? And how did a society without agriculture, without established social hierarchies, manage to organize such immense construction projects that spanned centuries? It utterly defies our understanding of early human organization. Who were these children of Göbekli Tepe? Were they the direct ancestors of later agriculturalists, or a distinct cultural group whose revolutionary ideas spread far and wide, influencing others? The sheer existence of Göbekli Tepe suggests that complex religious and social structures might have preceded the agricultural revolution, not simply emerged as a consequence of it. This is a monumental paradigm shift. It proposes that the human drive for spiritual connection and communal ritual could be the actual spark that ignited the transition to settled life. Think about that for a moment. Later, massive Neolithic settlements like Çatalhöyük in Anatolia show signs of a highly organized, agricultural society, but they are thousands of years younger, built by people who had long mastered farming. Perhaps the very act of building Göbekli Tepe, the shared purpose and the demanding ritual gatherings, was the catalyst that fundamentally reshaped human society, leading directly to more settled ways of life. The recurring need to feed large numbers of people for these monumental projects, over generations, could have been the driving force that spurred the development of agriculture in the surrounding region. This region, the so-called Fertile Crescent, is where wild wheat, barley, and other staple crops were first domesticated. Göbekli Tepe sits right at its northern, crucial edge. So, instead of agriculture enabling complex society, perhaps complex society, driven by profound spiritual needs and communal effort, enabled agriculture. It's a truly radical re-evaluation of human progress. But the strangest part comes later, after over 1,000 years of continuous, monumental use. Around 8,200 BC, the site wasn't abandoned, destroyed, or left to decay. It was meticulously, deliberately buried. Someone, or some organized group, intentionally filled the enclosures with tons of earth, rubble, and even broken tools, effectively sealing it away from the world, as if to erase its very presence. Why? Was it a ritualistic closing, a final act of reverence to preserve its sacredness? Or was it to hide something, a dark secret perhaps, that they wanted utterly forgotten by future generations? Some archaeologists hypothesize a profound shift in belief systems. As agriculture took hold and new gods arose, perhaps the old ways, the hunter-gatherer spirituality, became obsolete, even taboo, needing to be physically interred. The world was changing rapidly. The wild, untamed landscapes that defined the hunter-gatherer existence were giving way to settled villages, domesticated animals, and an entirely new relationship with the land. The children who buried Göbekli Tepe were likely the direct descendants of its builders, but they lived in a profoundly different world, one shaped by the very changes Göbekli Tepe may have initiated. By burying it, they inadvertently created an incredible time capsule, preserving this monumental testament to early human ingenuity, artistry, and spirituality for over 10 millennia, waiting patiently for rediscovery. Today, the painstaking excavation continues, led by a dedicated team from the German Archaeological Institute and the Sanliurfa Museum. Each season brings new discoveries, new questions, and deeper insights. Only a fraction of Göbekli Tepe has been unearthed. Geophysical surveys, using advanced techniques, suggest dozens more T-pillar enclosures lie buried beneath the surface, promising decades of future exploration. Every new find deepens our understanding, but also highlights the vast, perplexing gaps in our knowledge of humanity's earliest complex societies and the motivations that drove their monumental efforts. It reminds us that our ancestors were far more sophisticated, their spiritual lives far richer, their capacity for organized labor far greater than we often give them credit for. They were truly remarkable. The legacy of Göbekli Tepe isn't just carved stone. It's the profound questions it forces us to ask about human nature, about the origins of belief, and the very spark that ignited civilization itself. It suggests that perhaps our journey towards complex societies began not with the practicalities of farming, but with the intangible, powerful pull of the sacred, a yearning for connection beyond the mundane. The silent stones of Göbekli Tepe whisper tales of a world we can barely comprehend, a world where monumental effort was dedicated to something far grander than mere survival or sustenance. The children who built it, and those who carefully buried it, left us a magnificent, baffling puzzle that continues to challenge our most fundamental assumptions about our own origins. It implies a spiritual imperative so strong, it compelled disparate groups to unite, to carve and lift stones weighing many tons, for reasons that still elude us, even with all our modern knowledge. What echoes of their beliefs, their fears, their hopes, their profound understanding of the cosmos, might still resonate from those ancient stones, waiting for us to truly hear them? And what other unimaginable secrets, what other monumental truths, still lie hidden beneath the earth, patiently waiting for us to uncover them and change our history books once more? Göbekli Tepe isn't just a site, it's a profound re-questioning of what it means to be human, and how our civilization truly began, a story far older and more mysterious than we ever dared to imagine. If you're fascinated by the mysteries of lost civilizations and the untold stories of ancient history, hit that subscribe button to join us on our next journey into the past.